Well, I suppose we should talk about what we're doing here.
Okay.
Welcome to The Dream Show, where each episode I sit down with someone just like you.
I'm in a current phase of pushing myself to do things.
To decode the meaning behind your dreams and explore their connection with trauma, healing, and the subconscious mind.
I do like to watch and see where the dream takes me.
My name is Lyon, your host, a licensed counselor, certified trauma hypnotherapist, and a dream interpreter. So whether it's a nightmare,
I don't know why, but I knew that he was talking about me. And he comes storming up to the door. And I remember him shouting, "Where is my son?"
a bizarre scene, or something too weird to even describe,
It was so traumatic for me, literally, I have blocked all but this memory.
we dive in and learn to listen to the messages that your mind is trying to tell you. Let's jump into it.
What are we doing?
Welcome to The Dream Show. Today is a very special episode because I have with me my longtime friend, April, who graciously agreed on this Wednesday morning to come all the way out here and talk about her dreams. So this is the very first in-person dream show. We've had several episodes with followers and just like people who have come on and told me their dreams, but I'm really excited for this. And when we were starting, you said, "Oh my gosh, I had like 5 dreams last night. I don't know which one to talk about."
So many.
And I said, that's great, because the whole point of this is to show people what dream therapy is about. So my clients will walk in and they'll sit down and be like, "I had like 5 dreams last night and then like 10 dreams this week that all rattled me. I don't know where to start." Mm-hmm. That's how every session starts. So I'm like, the fact that you don't know is great, because I'll show you how I go through the process to find like, okay, this is the one that's kind of the most important we should talk about today. So thanks for being here. I got to do a shout out in the beginning. So Julie, who I think you met.
Yes, I did.
Sponsor of the show, Empowering Me. Links are in the description down below. Julie pre-screens everybody to make sure they're a good fit for the show.
The email I got, I was like, who's Julie?
Who's Julie?
Should I be scared?
You're in trouble now. So big thank you to Julie for doing all that work. And she's got a great page about helping people share their story after they come through trauma. So like doing some really great work, and happy to be partnered with her. So check that out, and then we'll get into it. So you had 5 dreams just last night.
Essentially, like I feel like I don't sleep well anymore because I'm just constantly dreaming. And this is without the use of melatonin. It was just like normal sleep for me.
Has that always been that way?
Yes, I've always had really good recollection of my dreams. Do I have 5 a night? No. But usually I have at least one that I remember.
Like every night? Every
night.
That's pretty unique, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, most people forget a significant portion of their dreams. I think the research changes, but it's like 80% to 90% of dreams are forgotten within the first 10 minutes after you wake up.
Doesn't that mean that I don't get good REM sleep, or I am in good REM sleep?
So there's a bit of a difference. They used to think that we only dreamed in REM sleep, which they now know is not true. We dream in all phases of sleep because the way they tested that is they would wait till someone was in the deep sleep. There's 5 phases of sleep. 4 of them are deep sleep. They would wake people up from the deep sleep and be like, "Did you have a dream?" And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was kind of thinking about this." And they would track it. And so what they found is the deep sleep dreams are different, and they're not as memorable. The REM sleep dreams are the very emotionally intense. I'm, running away from stuff and fighting monsters and the whole thing. So that's why they thought that we only dreamt in REM sleep. But now we know that we dream in all. So if you're a very intense dreamer, it really doesn't say a lot about what quality of sleep you're getting. It says a lot about your mental health, and more about your personality, not like if you're okay or not. Nightmares are a good indicator if someone's not okay. It's kind of like what you do. I mean, you work in the medical profession as well, and we'll get to that in a second. But if somebody gets a random headache, it just happens. You know, sometimes you just get a headache. Maybe you didn't drink enough water, the pressure because of the clouds, it's going to rain today. But if you're getting consistent headaches, we're going to want to look into that.
Right.
Same thing with nightmares. A one-off nightmare is pretty normal. Everyone gets those. But if you're having consistent nightmares and is struggling with your sleep, we need to check something out. Yeah. Now, the people who have very vivid dreams and remember a lot tend to be very introspective. They're very emotional people. They're very connected people. They're very introspective. And so when you say that you have a lot of dreams that you remember, that tells me more about your personality than it does about your mental health.
Okay.
So the follow-up question would be, how many of those dreams are nightmares? That tells me more about how you're feeling lately.
Well, what qualifies as a nightmare? Because definitely one of the dreams was something that was disturbing, and I felt some anxiety over it. Had to do with one of those horror movie bunnies, like you see but I wasn't like terrified of it. I just knew we had to get away from it.
Okay.
Right. But then the other dream was just like kind of like a normal dream, nothing crazy going on. So I don't even know if that first one would be considered a nightmare. I didn't wake up terrified or in a sweat.
Yeah.
But I was definitely a little stressed about it. But I handled it.
I handled it. Like shotgun to the bunny. Like
I knew I had to face the evil bunny. If that makes sense. But it was almost like in the back of my head, like, okay, I got to take care of it. I got to protect my family. But I wasn't afraid. I was just like, crap, I got to deal with this.
It's kind of badass though. It's
I mean, maybe.
We'll deal with this bunny.
Yeah.
Not on my watch, bunny.
I was like, crap, this bunny, like, how do I kill this thing? You know, it's coming after us. I thought I had gotten rid of it. If I give you the backstory. So there's this like scary looking bunny, kind of like what you see in those horror movies. Like it's like a doll, but it's like a weird, creepy, angry looking bunny.
Yeah, it's got like some like cuts in his face or something.
Smiling in like a creepy, evil way.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did is if you keep it wrapped up, like I had it wrapped up in a sweater. If you keep it wrapped up, it doesn't see the light of day, then you're fine. So I wrapped it up real tight and I got in the car with John. I'm like, let's go. And we escape and we get to a neighborhood and somehow I find out it got out and is after us again. So I'm like, crap. I gotta face this bunny. So
is it like a real bunny or like a robot bunny?
No, it looks like one of those dolls like you see in horror movies.
It's like a doll.
Like a doll.
So it's not like a live rabbit.
No, not
it's
a
like
cute
a
little
doll.
bunny. It's like
because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, is this Monty Python and the Killer Rabbit?
No,
or
like,
is this more like Five Nights at Freddy's, the animatronic rabbit?
Kind of, but not a robot.
Okay.
It was like a live doll.
Stuffed animal.
Stuffed animal.
So if Chucky was a bunny.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. So it came to the neighborhood, and I was like, I gotta take care of this bunny before it comes after us, because it wanted to kill me. I know it wanted to kill me and probably everyone around us.
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, I gotta face this thing and figure out how to kill it. And that's where that one dream ended. But again, I didn't feel like a huge sense of fear. It was more like, man, I gotta face this thing. I really don't want to.
I'd just like to be left alone.
Anxious.
It was more like you were bothered.
Like, please stop bothering
You're
me.
like,
Stop trying to kill me.
what a pain in my ass.
Yeah, but I didn't wake up like, oh my gosh, it's terrifying. I just felt like, oh, I gotta deal with this again. Like, I gotta deal with another stressful situation and protect my family.
Yeah. Family's very important to you.
And that was kind of another recurring dream I had a few weeks ago, which is the one I had written down to speak to you about a grizzly bear that was coming after the family, trying to get into the house.
Okay. So let's talk about what counts as a nightmare first.
Yes.
It's very subjective. Usually what we look for clinically is distress, right? Like how much distress is this causing in a person's life? So for that one, it's like, well, that was a weird dream. And then you woke up and you go about your day. So it was unpleasant, but it's the same way that we would talk about emotions. And this is the point that I try and make to people is there's nothing like secret or magical about dreams. You just have to know how to think about them, right? You know, if you're a mechanic working on a car, there's a certain way that your brain thinks about that problem. If you are a person working on a human body, right? You know, which is your medical profession. Working on a human body is very different than a car engine, right? So you kind of have to come to it with a different set of like rules for how to think about the problem. Dreams are the same as emotions. So you apply the same kind of rule set to thinking about dreams. So there's all sorts of uncomfortable emotions we'll have in the day, from mundane, like, oh man, I'm hungry, I need to eat lunch. So it's like uncomfortable in my stomach, to, oh my gosh, I broke my leg, right? So same thing with dreams. We're gonna feel sad sometimes through the day. We're gonna feel grief or a little bit stressed about work. That wouldn't be like a clinical level. But if you're having a dream that you can't shake is horrifying, waking you up in a sweat, or even you wake up in the morning and you remember the dream and it just like bugs you throughout the day, well, we're gonna wanna look at that. Like that's pretty significant. It's now causing distress.
Right.
So I would say that's probably dealing with some emotions, but I wouldn't say it's like cause for huge concern. Like there's no,
I wouldn't classify that as like a really true nightmare for me, at least. I've had worse dreams where they really stuck with me, like you said. This one just kind of weird. I don't know if it's like Halloween Horror Nights coming up and I'm just thinking about all the houses or whatnot, but
well, it can borrow from that stuff. But let's break it down then, right? So when pretty straightforward like dream sequence. There's this bunny. You wrap it up in a sweater. You leave, and then it comes back to you. So there's like, well, it seems to me like there would be some like metaphors for avoidance. It's like, I thought I wrapped this problem up in my past, right? And I tried to move on from it, but I didn't actually kill the problem. And I mean, gosh, if that's not a metaphor for our emotions, right? It's
Right,
like,
what is?
yeah, it's like I was trying to distract from that thing, but god damn it, now it's back here and like getting me. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting that it's a bunny, right? Now, I don't know exactly what it means for you, but generally speaking, bunnies are kind of like, you think like Easter bunny or like fertility symbols, right? And so when I'm thinking about a bunny, I'm thinking about, well, either something, prosperity in your life, like a time of blooming that was kind of like warped, or maybe even more directly for like directly fertility, like trying to create your family and grow that stuff. And so, you know, I do know a little bit about you, if it's okay to share, like the stuff with like family planning. I would imagine this dream is telling me something about there was some kind of struggle that you had with trying to grow your family that you thought you put to rest, but it's kind of come back to haunt you again. And you're like, well, now I really have to figure out what to actually do with it.
Well, I feel like we tackled that probably 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We went through IVF again this year. It unfortunately didn't work out, and this was my second round of doing it. And so I came to the conclusion, we decided that this was just going to be the end of it, and we let it go. And then we talked about possibly looking into acupuncture just for poops and giggles, just to see like if it works, but not having any expectations anymore.
Okay.
And so a few months ago, I finally sold the baby stuff I've been holding on for 5-6 years. And so that was like a really rough patch for us, but I've come to peace with it now. So the fact that if that's kind of what the dream is representing, is kind of, maybe it's possibly in the back of my mind still, I'm not sure. But it hasn't come up in the last few months as far as been like eating at me. Like it's been the past 5 years with like, we're just planning, and now I'm like, I'm just letting it go.
Yeah, it's tough.
But why would the bunny be evil?
Well, I want to get to that question, but I got another question I want to answer first, because I don't want to spoil it. Like sometimes when I'm working with people, like I have a thought about what it probably is, but in order to make sure that I'm right, because when we're talking about emotions, they're very suggestible. So if I say, you're feeling this, aren't you? You're going to be like, well, sure, yeah, probably. You know, especially because when you're with a counselor, there's like an imbalance of power in the room. Like the counselor's the professional, so you probably are going to be biased to believe whatever they're saying. So as a counselor, like I try and be really slow about giving any kind of suggestions. What does the bunny mean? You know, or why is the bunny evil? Well, I definitely have a thought. Like I've got a hunch, right? But before I tell you that and then distort your thoughts because now you're trying to align your thoughts with what Jesse said it was, I want to ask you a clarifying question.
Go for it.
How did the dream end? How did you kill it, or did you kill it?
I didn't kill it.
Oh.
I was in the process of trying to kill it, and
how were you trying to kill it?
I don't really know. I was just gonna fight it.
You're just gonna fight it?
Yeah, I didn't have any weapons or anything. I was just gonna deal with it when I got there. Like, okay, maybe try and wrap it up again, but it's probably not gonna work. So maybe try and fight it off. I just know I had to keep it away from my family, whatever I had to do.
Keep it away from your family.
But I did not have a plan. Like most things in my life, I just figure it out when I get there.
You're a very intuitive person.
I don't know if it's intuitive or stupid, but I was like, let me just figure it out when I get there.
The line is thin between the two.
It is. It definitely could be crossed.
It could, yeah.
Has been crossed before.
Let me ask you another follow-up question then, in order to like confirm my theory or disprove. Why did the bunny want to kill you?
I don't know. We never did anything to the bunny.
Imagine yourself as the bunny, right? Imagine yourself as an evil stuffed bunny, right? What? Are you hungry? Are you like,
No.
you need an April snack?
No, it's just one of those evil things that just wants to kill you. Like, why does Chucky want to kill everybody? Why does Jason want to kill everybody?
Yeah.
They're just angry and just want to kill people.
Anger? Like fueled by anger?
Malice. It was
Malice.
fueled by malice. Not necessarily angry at me, just wanting to quench someone's blood. Just pure evil.
Does it want to stop you, or does it want to cause pain? It's like,
Just destroy.
I want to destroy.
That's it. That's what I felt off of the creature. Just one of those pure evil things. There's no humanity to it. There's nothing that you can really stop it from doing what is, it's aimed to do, is just to kill you. Kill a family, kill everybody around it. Other people too.
That's what it wants. That would bring it pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then my thought, like, why is the bunny evil? There's a rule in dream interpretation that like all parts of the dream at some level represent a part of us.
Oh, great.
So you're the evil
No,
bunny.
what?
but here's why, and there's no shame in that, you know. And even your response, I think, is really appropriate, because I think a lot of people do that. Like they'll have these, you know, nasty parts of themselves that come out in the dream, but we're so quick as human beings to label things as like good or bad. And it's like the evil bunny part of you is not bad, it's just uncomfortable. So I love explaining emotions as there's not good emotions and bad emotions. There's comfortable and uncomfortable emotions. All emotions are good. We need them all, even if it's just for the mere sake of balance. And so, well, the evil bunny is an uncomfortable part of yourself, right?
Very.
It's not necessarily something you want around. You don't bring it to a party.
Hope not.
not a great house guest.
No.
Right? But it's still in there, and it's necessary to be in there. So here's my thought. If that's the motivation of the bunny, right, is like it's malice and ill intent, and we know probably the bunny has to do with fertility, then I wonder if there's a part of you that is being expressed in the dream that feels like your desire to grow your family and to get pregnant and to, you know, move the family in that direction kind of sabotaged what you already had with the family. And perhaps you made a decision to let that part of your story go in order to, well, if I'm distracted over here and like frustrated and angry and feeling malice about, well, a very frustrating situation that wasn't working out,
Right.
how much is that affecting the emotional well-being of my family, because they're around me and I'm in distress?
Yeah, I wonder
So
if
maybe
it's
I'm letting it go.
maybe it's affecting against myself. I feel like
That too.
I tried not to take out my emotions on my family. I think John was very supportive, Aiden was as well. But at times, you know, after 5 years of just holding back, like, you know, holding back on plans, for example, I was just getting I was tired of it. Tired of the whole process, tired of all the exams, tired of all the shots. So in one sense, I was kind of relieved to let it go.
Yeah.
In another sense, I felt guilty for letting it go, because like, we're trying for so long, it's so hard. Why not push a little bit further?
Yeah. Wow, conflict.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, like conflict in the dream. How does that sit with you? Whenever we do dream stuff, it's really important, like when you find the right meaning of the dream, it kind of like fits. You're like, yeah, that is it. But I'm not quite getting that feeling from you yet, which means there may be something about the dream that we're still missing.
I don't know if that is really, not to say that's the right interpretation.
Yeah.
I just never examined it that way or thought of it that way. I thought like the IVF stuff was behind us. And so I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It could be not.
What
be
feels
just-
off about it?
The evil bunny.
The evil bunny.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Yeah, this is good. You know, because sometimes I'll put something out there and be like, yeah, well, no, I get where you're going, but it still doesn't sit with me.
You know what? Okay, I'm not interpreting my own dreams.
You
but
should interpret your own dreams. You're the expert.
I think what I was mentioning before is I'm noticing a pattern of me having to face uncomfortable situations, things I almost fear a little bit, but not completely fear, not like terrified of, but
Yeah.
facing these things where I have to handle the situation, which is what I was talking about with this other dream that I had with the grizzly bear coming after the family, and the same kind of scenario, like
Okay.
I'm keeping it away, it almost gets in the house, I have to somehow get to the door before the door's open and the bear gets in, and it's like I have the same feeling like I had in this dream, where I'm having to face something scary and handle it for the family, like be the one that really faces it first. It's not ever John handling it, anybody else coming to my rescue. It's always me facing something that I don't want to face.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of it, but I have to do it, and I have to like step up.
If you were going to put a word to that feeling, what word would you use?
I mean,
Is it
I have to have courage
courage?
with something, with all
Probably a
these
few
things that
words.
I don't want to face it. Like I do feel like I avoid emotion sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd rather just kind of compartmentalize. I do that a lot. I do that at work too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I have to compartmentalize my fear in the moment, or if I'm uncomfortable with a situation, and just do it.
Yeah. Which would you mind sharing, like
Sure.
what you do for a living and
So I'm an
maybe
ER
some background?
nurse. I'm an ER nurse. I've been an ER nurse for 8 years.
You see some crazy stuff.
I see a lot of interesting things, which is why I like my job so much. But, there's times when I have situations where, like a code, for example, those used to be really scary to deal with. Now it's just kind of routine, and unfortunately, when the families are grieving, if the patient doesn't make it, I have to really compartmentalize my feelings with that situation, because it's easy for me to cry along with them, but I can't. Like, I have other patients to take care of. Like, things go on, they move on very quickly there.
Yeah.
And I feel like I sometimes bring that with me to my personal life, where I have to compartmentalize my feelings and emotions of whatever's going on and just kind of save the day. And perhaps it's a bad thing to have that hero complex. And it's not that I want to, I just feel like it's my responsibility. Like, I have to do it. I have to step up.
Well, both in work and with your personal relationships.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't step up? Like, where does that imperative come from? Is it?
I feel like no one will step up. I have to do it or it doesn't get done. And I have always had that mentality, and I know it stems probably from younger situations dealing with my family. Like, my family's had lots of emotional things growing up, and I had to be the counselor. Sorry to do the quotations a lot.
No, quotations are great. Yeah.
Had to be the counselor, had to be the mediator when my parents were fighting. And so I think that just kind of evolved to make me a great ER nurse, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well.
But, maybe I don't know where that balance is.
There's consequences for it.
There is.
So the feeling is I must step up because nobody else will.
Yes.
And people are going to get hurt if I don't.
Yes.
And so often at the consequence of your own feelings. I got to box those up because people need me right now.
Yes.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, but a lot of people do it. You have to.
Yeah.
I think I'm afraid of just letting it go.
Tell me more about that, afraid of letting it go.
Like, what happens if I don't step up? Like, does everything just collapse? Does my family get hurt? Like, that's a scarier thought than facing whatever's scaring me.
I'd much rather face what's scaring me and not face it, and the people that I love get hurt.
Right.
Yeah. And along with that, very quickly, is also the feeling of, and if I don't, no one will. So I have to. It has to be me. It has to be this uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the people I love won't get hurt. And furthermore, the beautiful life that I have may fall apart.
100%.
I'm not certain that somebody else will step up and make sure that the life that I have will persist. It's just me. It's just on my shoulders. That's heavy, April.
Yeah, well,
That's a lot.
I mean, it's just always been that way.
You made mention, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you made mention about, like, maybe that comes from me growing up. Like, it sounds like you already kind of have a hunch.
Yeah.
I mean, do you care to share?
Sure. All right, so my parents had a lot of marital problems in the beginning of their relationship while we were growing up as kids. And so my dad has had several suicide attempts, and I was there when he would attempt. So I was the one calling poison control. I was the one handling their
ER
marital
nurse April
issues.
started early.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was
How old?
9,
Wow.
10 maybe.
Yeah.
So dealing with those issues, my brother dealt with depression, so he had also a lot of emotional lability.
Yeah.
So I was dealing with that. He ended up dropping out of high school. I helped him with getting his GED. And my mom and dad, with their fights, sometimes I would end up counseling them, which, at the time I thought I'm just doing what I need to do to keep the family together, because I was afraid of them breaking up permanently. And that just kind of continued. I didn't realize it was a bad habit that I was developing, a bad trait. I thought I was doing good for the family, but I didn't realize, like, maybe that's not my job as the youngest in the family to be trying to keep them together and trying to counsel their emotions and hearing both their sides of their story when they're, frustrated with their marriage, or if one parent did something, then they come to me to complain about it. I just didn't realize that was an unhealthy thing. And so I just always handled it, had to handle it. And then, with nursing, it's kind of the same thing. You just have to handle.
Just gotta handle
whatever is handed to you.
Yeah.
And I felt like I dealt with it good. I learned how to be a handler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I handle things.
Well, and I would imagine like being an ER nurse too, it's like you may have these wild situations that are very bizarre.
Yeah.
And the patient is expecting you to handle it, and you're like, I've never had this before. Like I don't know what's
really
happening.
What
Be like,
do.
yeah, we're gonna handle this. Yeah, no, we got a plan for you. You'd be like, well, fuck, well, okay, all right, well, I gotta think about this one.
Yes.
God damn it, what are we gonna do? You can't show that to the patient though. It's like, you're the professional. Well, I feel that too. Someone comes in and tells me a story, and I'm like, well, goddamn. Okay, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do know that I'm the person in the room with the education enough to be able to make a plan.
Right.
But I've never dealt with this before.
Right.
That's like you every day.
Yes.
And since you were 8 or 9.
Yes.
Do you? I want to ask the right question. Like, would you go back and change that? Like,
No,
not being the counselor for your parents?
I don't want to live in regret. And I told myself I would take any negative situation and be thankful for it because it altered me in some way. And if it altered me in a negative way, I can always change that about myself. I would have preferred it was less.
Yeah.
Or maybe when I was a little bit older. But I think it created a good character in me as far as just knowing how to deal with things on my own, not having to have a victim mentality. Because I didn't want to have any of the victim mentality. That's like something I detest so much.
Yeah.
So I think
That's
that
interesting.
shaped me into just handle it. You just got to handle it. Like, stop complaining, just deal with it, come up with a plan, and execute it. And I don't regret that about my personality. I think that's one of my strong suits.
I would agree. What's the push against the victim mentality? You seem very adamant about that.
I feel like that's what I was encountered when I was growing up. Like, my brother, again, I feel for him. He dealt with a lot of like learning problems and bullies. I get that, but
Yeah.
I think there's only so far you can go with feeling sorry for yourself, and then you have to do something about it. And it was just kind of dragged on for so long, and even to this day. And in my opinion, not to say it shows weakness, but in my head, it's like you should just come to a point where, you grieve for whatever you're dealing with, and then you just got to pull your britches up, and you got to figure out a plan. You can't just wallow in your puddle of sadness and why me pity. It doesn't get you anywhere. You can't just sit there. So I just have this like ick with it.
Because you've been...
Because I had to always handle everyone else's situations, and it's tiring.
Wow. Let me try and explain something. Would that be okay?
Sure, yeah.
I'm trying to organize my thoughts because there's a lot there. What I'm thinking about, April, is I'm thinking about this story, the way that you grew up, and the way that's kind of created, the patterns of the way that you relate with others, and then here to the present day with this dream. And we're gonna get to this bear dream here in a second. Perfect. Yeah. There's a real press against the victim mentality.
Yes.
Because that's what you were picking up the pieces from. Individuals who had the victim mentality and were not either motivated or taking responsibility to fix their own problems, and that caused some direct consequences to you. And so now there's this feeling of like, well, I can't be like the people who hurt me.
No, not at all.
It's not allowed. I can't be like the people who hurt me. But at the same time, as somebody who's like hearing the story as a third party, the real victim of the story was April.
It seems weird to say that. Like, I don't even want to accept that. Like, am I a victim?
But I think, like, if you think about it, that makes sense, right? It's like, black and white, like, point blank period. Yes, like, here are two adult individuals who are responsible for the upbringing and well-being of a little girl, and they're failing at that responsibility. And in fact, because of their own victim mentality, forsaking their responsibility to correct their lives and create a safe and healthy environment for their daughter, and making their daughter responsible for making that environment that a 9-year-old should never have the weight of trying to create a safe home. And so it's like, if there is a victim in the story, like, it is April, but at the same time, like, it makes sense that you push against that because you're like, there is no way in hell I'm going to be compared to the people that hurt me the most.
Yeah.
And so, I see that a lot with people who come through trauma, is this feeling of disowning like a part of themselves. Out of fear of, I don't want to be like the bad guy. The way it looks a lot of times in my sessions with people who've come through trauma is there always comes a time in the therapy when we have to talk about their own violence. Something violent happened to them. And when something violent happens to them, they oftentimes get submissive and quiet, and they try and like move through life without making ripples because things were so intense. The healthy response to that is for them to find their own like killer instinct and violence and like move forward in their life with aggression. But they never let themselves do that because they're like, well, but then I'm the monster.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think back to this bunny, right? And it's like, well, I don't want to identify with the bunny because I never let myself be the monster. And that makes sense because the monster is what created the trauma. But there's a second step. With those emotions, there's no bad emotion. And so when I have this conversation with people who've come through trauma, my point is not to help that person learn how to hurt others. That's a wrong expression of anger and violence. But when you have a family that you love and care about dearly, that same anger and violence can be expressed as a defense against an evil and cruel world that would otherwise hurt them. And so here's this situation with a mom and dad who should have protected and created structure for their little girl to like thrive and be well. But instead of using their aggression and violence like towards the outside world, they allowed that into and to hurt the person who needed to be protected.
And I don't think it was them intentionally doing that.
Oh, certainly not.
Because they had so much baggage from their childhood, so much trauma that they were dealing with that I didn't understand at the time, and I understand now. It doesn't excuse it, but still, they didn't have counseling that they would go to. Like it was just kind of mental health was not a thing that you really talked about back then. And so I don't entirely blame them, and I forgave all of that.
Sure.
But I see how it's kind of haunting me at times.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to let go of that. I will refuse to be a victim mentality. Like I don't want to ever be seen as that. It's hard for me to like let my guard down and ask for help because I just keep convincing myself that you're being a victim. Don't do that. So,
yeah, you explained that really well.
Yeah.
And you see that in your life.
I see that. Yeah, in different aspects of my life.
So like if we were doing therapy together, like and working through this, like I would want to ask like, well, okay, so if there's this part of yourself that's kind of disowned, where allowing other people to help you when you've been hurt, I don't want to call that victim mentality, right? Because I don't want you to develop a victim mentality, but sometimes there's times when you've been hurt and could use some help that you're like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's probably not helping you. So we need a new word.
Oh, yeah.
We need a new word.
I don't know.
And maybe we'll come up with that later,
Yeah.
but I just kind of want to illuminate this pattern, right? We have a second dream.
Yeah.
About a bear.
There was a bear.
Okay.
There was a grizzly bear. Family was in the house. We were in a cabin somewhere in the woods. I knew there was a grizzly bear out there. We had a dog for some reason. We don't have a dog.
Cool.
Dog opened the screen door, and I remember thinking, I'm in the other room.
That's interesting.
Crap. The bear's going to get in. I got to get there before the bear comes in because it's roaming around the house. I get there right on time, close the door and lock it, but I have this like intense fear that the bear is going to come for us, and it's just waiting. It's just like prowling around, waiting for an opportunity to get in. And it's that same feeling where I'm like, I got to handle it because it's coming. We have some danger. My family's facing some danger. I need to handle it.
Wow. And the bear, again, it's just an evil bear. Like it just wants to...
Just like a regular grizzly bear, but a hungry one.
Yeah.
Like wanting to...
So it's hungry. It wants to eat.
Yeah. It wants to hurt.
It's not necessarily like sadistic, like trying to cause pain. It's just hungry.
This one's
The bunny
just,
was evil.
Bunny was pure evil.
Bunny was evil. The bear maybe just like, I'm hungry and
hungry.
you look like a tasty snack.
Right.
Got it.
Trying to get in. Like it's focused on getting in. And I have this pit in my stomach. It's going to get in. I have to be on alert. I got to make sure it never gets in. And then just that fear of like, oh my gosh, the door's open. It's going to get in. Like, I got to get there now.
Yeah.
And I make it. But it's just right in the brink of time. And I'm seeing this pattern with these dreams where it's like, I got to save the family. And like, I'm scared, but I have to face it. I have to face these fears, these uncomfortable situations.
I mean, let me ask the obvious question. Like, is there an uncomfortable situation you're presently facing that this dream is trying to make you aware of? Or is it kind of a mystery to you? You're like, there's no pressing situation.
Nothing pressing now. In the beginning of the year, we had so much stress with everything going on. But now I feel like we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a good spot.
And this dream happened like last night?
Yeah.
Or, okay. The bear one.
Oh, the bear one was a few weeks ago.
Was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, the timeline doesn't make sense for it to be the beginning of the year stuff because this happened a few weeks ago. So you're like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same feeling.
Same feeling.
Pressure. I must protect.
Feeling pits in my stomach.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable, slightly fearful, but not gripping fear.
Mm-hmm.
I can do something about it still.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me share another story, and I wonder how this resonates. I'm locking up the office here on a Friday night, and there's a counselor who's walking by who's also working late. Everybody else is gone. It's Friday. We're both here at like 8 p.m. And so she asked me, she's like, "You still here? What are you doing here? It's Friday night." I was like, "I could ask you the same thing." Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I know. Like, well, why are you still around?" I was like, "Well, critical mother and an absent father." She just looks at me like, it's like, why'd you have to read me my life story like that? I was like, I'm just telling you my honest truth. I was like, if it happens to resonate with you too, that's on you. She's like, damn, you're right. I was like, I very critical and didn't feel safe. So I always have to be working. You know, and so like I hear your story, and I think the way that I empathize is that same piece. Is like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, well, the parents weren't doing their jobs, so I'm always hypervigilant. I'm always working. I'm always on alert.
That's the word.
Hypervigilant.
That's the word. Yeah.
That emotion resonates.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I knew we were gonna drill down to it.
Yep.
So, let me share this with you then. Bears tend to be a feminine symbol.
Oh.
Actually. Which may be surprising, but bears are, you think about like mama bear, papa bear, baby bear, it's a family symbol, but specifically if you think about like wilderness explorers and like the frontier pioneers, they weren't scared of papa bear. They're scared of mama bear. Mama bear gonna tear you apart because if you mess with the cubs, like mama bear, bigger bear, right? Scarier bear. Male bears, you can deal with them. It's the mama bear. And so bears tend to be in dreams like a feminine symbol, but feminine strength and aggression. I'm going to protect my family.
And I'm protecting myself from the feminine energy?
Do you see it?
Victim mentality?
I don't know. No, not quite that. Let me work it all the way through. So there's this feminine aggression and protection, but it's threatening your family and threatening you. All right, so hold on to that thought.
Okay.
There's the dog. We got to look at the dog for a minute, and then it'll all kind of come together. Dogs are, like man's best friend. They're very helpful. Farm dogs and like Dalmatians at a fire station, right? Therapy dogs. They're helpers. And animals are so special because they tend to, generally speaking, be a symbol for like unconditional love. Dogs love their owners no matter what.
Right.
And so here's this symbol for unconditional love that opens the door to this feminine aggression coming in. So if you start to break the symbols down, here's kind of the story. There's this responsibility that you have in the dream to protect your family, but that responsibility is in direct conflict with these other parts of your like feminine maternal nature, and they come into conflict because the same unconditional love you share to everybody else is the least likely for you to give to yourself. And so then you kind of come into conflict.
That's deep.
And so it's like, you're fine with everybody else being a victim and like helping them out, like literally ER victims, like you help them. But then like when you have a crisis, I can't share that unconditional love with myself because that unconditional love opens the door for me to be this big scary thing of now I'm the victim and it's going to consume my family. If I let myself for a second think that I'm the victim and ask for help, everything I've built for my family is destroyed.
That's crazy.
And so like, maybe I was on the sort of surface level track with the bunny dream. But if we take a deeper look at the actual core emotions that created the fertility bunny dream, it's the same as with the bear dream of, I feel so much responsibility. And I know I want to show myself unconditional love even when I make a mistake, and even when I feel tired, to not take on everybody's burdens. But I'm so scared that if I do that, it'll destroy the people I love. Because all of the relationships have been built upon you being the ER nurse and being the counselor for other people.
That's crazy. It makes sense.
You feel that feeling of
That makes
no,
more
that's
sense to
it.
me. Like,
that sits.
because both of those dreams, I felt there was a connection to them, even though they were so far apart when they had them.
Well, it's the same dream.
Well, it's so weird.
Yeah, same dream. I mean, both sort of feminine, fertility, like family symbols, but it's that responsibility for protection. Gosh, it's tough.
Yeah, how do I undo that? Like, how do I allow
I think it's the wrong
myself?
question.
Yeah.
I think it's the wrong question. The point is not to undo it, because it's too direct. That's you again taking responsibility.
What am I gonna do?
No, it's good. It's good. Like, I think the first step is awareness, right? Like, it's on the door of the building. It's like Lyon counseling, acceptance through awareness. The first step is you have to be aware of what's wrong. And then you can learn to accept the truth of reality and move through it. There are times when bad things happen to you that you couldn't predict or keep yourself safe from, and that were not your fault. It's never a 9-year-old little girl's fault to be the good counselor for their parents so that they stay together.
Yeah.
Even though they allowed the situation for you to feel that. And so, I know you want to fix it, but I think that might be the wrong question. It's just like,
It's hard not to fix it.
I'm allowed to be scared. I'm allowed to tell other people that I'm nervous, and it'd be great if they helped.
Do you think like saying that out loud and affirming it to myself be a way to kind of train my brain to be okay with needing help and wanting help versus my brain telling me stop being weak?
I would phrase it a little bit different. That's the right direction, but I might make a tweak in the phrasing a little bit. Is the first step is to recognize that the grizzly bear is not your enemy. And the bunny is not your enemy. They are also you, and they also need love. The dog was right. Like, the bear needs to be in the house.
Great.
The bear needs to be in the house. And even the sweater, it's like, you know, if you think about a sweater, you think of like the song Sweater Weather, and like, you know, cold weather and snuggling and like happy feelings. And so there's always this like middle symbol in the dream of like love and snuggles and like unconditional care.
That's crazy.
And so it's like, that's the struggle, is before you go fixing all this stuff in order to be better so you can take care of your friends better, which is the problem. It's like, well, maybe learning to be like, yeah, it's okay that there's a grizzly bear in there. It's okay that there's an evil bunny in there. In fact, those parts of me are very, very necessary. Because those parts also protect my family. Like the angry and defensive parts. They also help me realize the parts of my story that were messed up. And it's like, yeah, it shouldn't have been that way. But if I'm always keeping them out, then I'll never fully know the truth. You know?
Right.
I had a really good counselor one time who told me, I was talking about the stuff that I went through growing up, and, you know, I'd always make my words short, or like mince my words when I was talking about my own story. And the counselor said something that you know, I'll never forget. He said, you can't protect your abuser and heal at the same time.
Oh, that's so deep.
I was like, what do you
It's
mean?
so deep.
He's like, well, I can hear the words that you want to say about this person that hurt you, but you stop yourself before you say what you actually feel about them because you feel like it's disrespectful, or you're not protecting their character, or you're not protecting their identity. And so you delude and confuse yourself about your own emotions because you're trying to protect the person that hurt you the most. That's not fair. And that's where the aggression comes in. I don't want to hurt people, but I do want to destroy and devour and eat the part of myself that censors my authentic emotions when I'm trying to explain my story, because I'm too afraid to be a victim and I'm too afraid to hurt the person that I felt responsible for protecting, even though they were the ones that did me the most harm.
Like, where's the balance then? Like, it feels wrong to just like let it all out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I I can't find that balance right now.
I think you were taught to do that, though.
Maybe.
You were taught to hold it all in. You had to. There's no space for your emotions in that. And so, that's the key. The balance is you can love your parents and know that they did not do any of that intentionally and that they perhaps did try their best.
Yeah.
I don't know the story. While also saying, you hurt me a lot and I was the victim of your mental health.
That's deep. But I think it's spot on.
Right? Yeah. Does it
That
feel
feels,
right?
That feels.
You see, it's a different
like
feeling.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It settles right. And it makes sense how the two dreams are kind of connected.
It's like a good soup. It just sits warm
Brothy.
in your
Like
tummy.
some good pho.
It's like, some good pho.
Yeah, some
yes.
good pho.
That's
We
the
should
way.
get some pho.
That's the way. Yeah.
Let's get some pho.
Hell yeah, man. So, yeah.
I appreciate that. Jesse.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really crazy that you can come up with these things.
It's wild,
and make
man.
sense of it. It makes sense now to me. I was
Yeah.
like, why am I having all these weird dreams? I don't understand it, but that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have a lot of work to do.
Any other questions, like, about it, or you want to explore before we? I mean, we're coming kind of the close here, but
I have one more question, and it has nothing to do with those two dreams.
Down.
And this is just a recurring dream
Yes.
I have. This is the dream I had the most.
okay.
It's always me trying to run,
Yeah.
and it's like my feet are glued to the ground. I'm never running from something. Oftentimes I'm running to something, but it feels like my legs are so heavy. And I've had this
Yeah.
dream probably 8 times.
Classic.
Like, it's such a recurring dream that I even know when I'm dreaming it. I say, oh, I'm having a
There we
dream
go.
because it's happening again.
Yeah. Oh, so kind of lucid.
Yeah.
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 Do you have lucid dreams a lot?
Sometimes. Not. I wouldn't say they're often, but
No.
this would be the most lucid out of all of them. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
when I'm trying to run.
Classic anxiety one.
Oh, okay.
Classic anxiety dream. And usually that anxiety dream, again, speaking in broad terms, there's no universal interpretation for anything. There's just kind of guides. And so generally speaking, the heavy legs, like feet stuck in cement dream
Yeah.
is about, I don't feel like I can keep up with life right now.
Ah.
Things are moving very fast. I'm trying to run away. I'm trying to keep up or catch this thing. But I feel like life is moving faster than I am, and I'm doubting my ability to move fast enough to keep up with the demands of my life right now.
That makes sense.
Does that check out?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And
Thanks,
so
man.
when I wake up from those dreams, I'm like, oh, Jess. I take a deep breath and be like, it's okay, man. Yeah, it's okay.
Just do what you gotta do,
You are
right?
you are fast enough. Things will be all right. It's usually the pressure I'm putting on myself.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, hope you feel encouraged.
I do.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Anything to shout out before? Do you want people to follow you on social media somewhere? Like,
I don't
You got a
care.
book you're trying to promote? You know, a
Nope.
podcast you're trying to do?
No, just be positive.
I love it. Well, April, thanks for being here.
Thank you
and
so much.
If anyone is interested in this kind of thing, I love making these and putting them out. There's a link to the application down below if you want to apply to be on the show. It's just friends of mine or followers on social media. So come on through and we'll make it happen. But thanks again.
Of course.
Catch you in the next one. Till
Bye.
then. Bye.